Hey y'all, today I wanted to do a soft glam video for those of us who have more mature features, who wanted to do a video or a makeup look for like Thanksgiving or Christmas or some special occasion coming up, and you're a little bit elderly, maybe you have hooded eyes, maybe you have the lip lines like I'm starting to get. So this video will kind of give you some tips and tricks about how to deal with all of that stuff, and so I hope you stick around and watch the video. Hey y'all, how's everyone doing? I hope everybody's having a great day. So today I want to do like a soft glam look for maybe I don't want to say elderly people, but more mature people. Maybe something like you can wear for Thanksgiving or just every day, actually. So I don't even have my palette picked out, but I'll get to that later. You only need just a couple of browns and maybe like a shimmer or something else. So anyway, let me get down to the face for primer, and I'm not even sure this is primer, but I'm going to use it. It's Pixi Plus Rose Radiance Perfector. And I love it because even though it's very drippy, it leaves like a nice glow on your face. So let me hurry up and rub this in before it drips down my face. I feel like I haven't done makeup in forever, and I haven't because I actually took like 5 days off. I don't know, I just got lazy, so I took 5 days off, and this is exactly why I like to pre-film some of my videos, is so I can do that. I don't have to worry about putting makeup on every day. I can just kind of chill for a couple days if I want to. So it was really nice. So I love this. Do you see how it leaves like a glow, like a, not like an artificial glow, but like a healthy, from internal kind of a radiant glow. I love it. Okay, for actually I need to put on eyeshadow primer. So for eyeshadow primer, I'm going to go in with the Antique Beauty Waterproof. This has become my favorite lately. I haven't really used anything else besides this because I like it so much. I like the Anastasia Beverly Hills, but the problem with that is it's very drippy. It's really liquidy, and I like for it to be able to just stay on my face while I get my brushes together. And I like it because it's it's thicker, and I don't know, I just like the consistency better. It's just easier to move around on my face, on my eyes. So what is everybody doing for Thanksgiving? I'm having Thanksgiving at my house. We do it every year. We used to have Thanksgiving and Christmas at our house, but my niece has taken over Christmas and has it at her house now, which is fine with me. But Thanksgiving we do every year at my house. For foundation, I'm going to go with, where did it go? I think this is it. The e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation in the shade Fair Neutral. Let me just make sure this is, yeah, that's the right one. Wait, where's my other one? Yeah, that's the right one. Fair Neutral. Is anybody going out of town? Is anybody having Thanksgiving at their house? We usually just have I live with my daughter and her boyfriend, and so there's the four of us, and then my dad comes over and my sister comes over, and sometimes her youngest daughter comes over. So it's just a few people, but it's a lot of fun. I actually prefer it that way, when it's just a few people and not like a ton of people. I gotta be careful with this part. I don't want to mess up my brows. I don't know if you guys have noticed lately, but I've been filling in my brows. I actually like it a lot better because they like stand out more, but they're not like crazy, you know? I just felt like with the when I was just using the tattoos, it just like nobody paid attention to them. They were just kind of there. So I started filling them in with a brow pen, like a felt tip pen, and I just got some foundation on it. So this is the brow pen I've been using. It is Maybelline Build a Brow, and I just basically just kind of color in, and I color in the back part of it, and then I draw on like fake hairs on the front and the middle. So this is a really good product. I love this. This is a lot better than what I was using. I've only used this a couple of times, but I really like it. Let me put a little bit more on. Also, today is my birthday. I'm 52 now. I'm not happy about it. You know, it doesn't... I'm just so scared. I'm so scared of aging. I'm so scared of my skin just like I'll watch TV and people are like, oh, I'm 55. And they have like crazy wrinkles and looks like their skin is melting off. Like, I'm just so scared that that's going to happen to me. I've already got wrinkles, but it's not so bad yet that I really care too much about it. But I'm just really, really afraid that it's just going to happen overnight. And I'm just going to have like all kind of wrinkles and jowls and saggy skin. I mean, I've already got this waddle going on, but I've had that for a while. But yeah, I'm really afraid of my skin just giving out on me. That's why I try to take care of it now. Alright, what's next? Foundation. So for concealer, I'm going to go with my L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Full Wear in the shade Porcelain. And see, now I have to put concealer on the corners of my mouths because I'm getting like old lady mouth on the corners. Like it's starting to like have a line there, and I should have taken care of my skin when I was younger. And you know, I smoked for 35 years too. So I think I came out kind of lucky. But still, I should have taken care of my skin, drank water, never drank water. And I smoked. I should look a lot more worn than I do. But I'm just afraid it's going to sneak up on me and just happen all in one day. Okay, so for soft glam, you don't really need to do this step, but I'm going to because that's just who I am. You don't have to use cream products at all. You can just powder this down and go from there and then start with the powder products. But because I am who I am, I'm going to use some cream products. So this is a Sheglam contour stick in the shade Golden Sun, and this is a very, very, very light contour. Now it might come off darker because I might have some leftover stuff on this brush, but hopefully it won't be too bad. And I'm just going to put a very little on there. Yeah, it's darker on the one side because I had leftover stuff on my brush, on my beauty blender. If you guys don't have cream products, you can just completely skip this part. A lot of people, I think a lot of more mature women with mature skin, they probably don't use this. Or people that are just not used to putting on makeup, they probably won't use cream products. And so for liquid blush, let me see. Do I even want to do liquid blush? Yeah, I'll do a little bit of liquid blush. I'm going to go into the MCobeauty Flamingo. This is also very optional. You don't have to use this at all. I'm just putting a little bit on there because I'm going to focus mostly on powder products. Alright, so for powder, I'm going to use the Sheglam. No. First of all, I'm going to use the Sheglam pressed powder, and I'm going to just push this into my T-zone. What brush did I use for this? I think this brush. Just going to push this into my T-zone everywhere I put concealer. Actually, I might just use this. I might not even use loose powder. You can use loose powder though. It's totally fine. You just want to push it in. Actually, you know what? I will use loose powder because I just want to show you how important it is. I'm going to use my Wet n Wild Photofocus translucent powder. And I'm going to go with my triangle brush. My triangle, whatever this is, not brush, but you know. And I'm just going to push it in because where you put the concealer, you're going to want to push the powder in so that it doesn't crease up on you and show off all your under eye wrinkles. This is very important if you use concealer, especially a thick one that I used. I used a very full coverage thick concealer. So you just want to push this in everywhere you put concealer so that, and also on your laugh lines, kind of hide your laugh lines a little bit. I probably should have put concealer on my laugh lines, but I forgot. You just want to push this. And so this will set the concealer, and then hopefully it won't crease up on you. And then just take a brush and just wipe all that away. You can put it all over the rest of your face if you want. I'm not going to. But you can just put it over the rest of your face. I don't want to cover up the makeup that I put on. So this is all I'm doing. All right, for blush, I'm going to go with the Revolution Blusher Reloaded in the shade Peach Bliss. And if you guys don't have any kind of bronzer, totally okay. You can just go without it. You can just use just blush if you want to. I'm going to go in with a very light bronzer. This is the e.l.f. in the shade Forever Sunkissed. I'm just going to put that everywhere I put the cream. This is really good for bringing warmth to your face. If you just use like foundation and powder and blush, it doesn't really give you any kind of dimension. If you don't use bronzer, I would highly suggest it, because it just brings dimension and warmth to your face. You could probably even go into, if you don't have it, you could go take a big fluffy brush and go into like a medium, be very careful with this though, a medium brown eyeshadow. You want to make sure it's not like, you want to practice with it first to make sure it's the right shade. But I highly, highly recommend bronzer. All right, for highlighter, I'm going to go into, this is also what I'm going to use on my eyes. This is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter in the shade Popping Champagne. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do my nose. Let me do my nose real quick. Of course, I forgot to do my nose. It happens almost every time. So you guys, I started watching this show on Hulu. I'm sure everybody's heard of it, called The Handmaid's Tale. I'm on season 2, and I'm like towards the end of season 2. It's so good. And I started watching it a long time ago, and I couldn't get into it. Like, I just watched like an episode or two, and I'm like, I don't know. This is like, I don't like movies where it's like predominantly dark the whole movie. And this is kind of like that, so I just didn't get into it. But then I started watching it again, and oh my god, I'm so hooked. It's so good. So if you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking it out. If you don't use highlighter, I don't think a lot of mature women or older women use highlight either. I'm not sure. I don't watch too too many videos on older women makeup. I mean, I watch some, but I think they don't use much in the way of highlighter, and certainly not as much as I do, which is totally cool. This is just something that I really love. But if you don't use highlighter, it's totally cool. Or if you do and you want to tone it down a little bit, totally understandable. Okay, so I'm going to spray my face with the You Can Be Lasting Chamomile setting spray. Okay, so I'm going to let my face dry. I'm going to go find a palette for my eyes and I'll be back. Okay, so for this I'm going to scoot you in a little bit. Hopefully I remember to scoot you back out. Okay, so the palette that I'm going to use is called Lamora Bronze Dream Palette. And it's a good palette because it's got all your browns and neutral warm shades. So I'm going to use this shade here for my transition, the shade Cayenne for my outer, and then probably Sunset is the lightest one in the palette. So I'm going to use that for the front, but I'm going to show you two ways you can do this. Okay, so I'm going to start out by using the transition shade. And for hooded eye people, it can be hard to use a transition shade because if the hood goes way over, but just if you need to hike that thing up and put transition under it, you need to do that, because when you look down, you don't want any blank spaces to be there. So you have to cover your whole eye. So I'm just going to go in with the transition shade. And you want to use like a transition shade that's a couple of shades darker than your natural skin. And you just, and also for hooded eyes, your crease is going to be way down here like mine is. You want to add like a fake crease. So what you can do is you can take like a little small brush, like a marker, and with your eyes open, you just mark on your eye where you want that transition shade to go. And then you just connect the dots. You want it to be above your crease because you want people to be able to see it with your eyes open. Like that's why if you have hooded eyes, you want to have your mirror for the most part right in front of you, and you do this whole thing, almost the whole thing, with your eyes open. And this is a big fluffy crease brush, and that's what you're going to want to use, is a crease brush. So now I'm going to go into a packing brush. This one has kind of an angle, and that might be alright. So for the outer part, you want to, let me just show you. I'm going to dip into the shade called Cayenne. And you're going to want to look down, especially if you have hooded eyes, look down into the mirror and pack this on. Even if it's under your hood, if you have to lift your hood up to do this, then that's what you got to do. And then with your eyes back, see how I did it, and then when I opened my eyes it was all gone. So now you're going to want to take some and put it above your crease. So just pack some on at the very end, and you want to pack it to where it's kind of going up and out, because this will lift your eye. So I just packed it on, and now I'm going to take a fluffy blending brush, if I can find one. Is this one? Yeah, this is one. And I'm just going to kind of blend all around it very lightly. You don't want to push hard, and you also want to hold your brush way out here. You don't want to hold it right here because this will be too hard. You want to hold it way out here, and then just very lightly go around all the edges. Look down, go around all the edges, And then you can even like flick it up very lightly. Flick it up so that it lifts your eye instead of your eye just being like not lifted. You want to blend all the way around it, and then you can pull it out or up, just as long as you're going in like an upward direction. See how it's kind of bringing that up and out? And you do it very lightly and be very patient, and it will work. And you want, for the very hooded eyes, if your hood comes like even down to your eyelid, you're going to want to do this on top of your hood. So I'm going to go ahead and do this to the other side. Look down, pack it on, look up, and now it's gone. And then you're going to want to put this on top of your hood, just like I'm doing. And you want to pack it on pretty lightly. You don't want to pack it on real hard, because you want to kind of pat blend at the same time. And then I'm going to take my blending brush and I'm going to look down and then blend all around it very lightly, and then flick it out and up. Especially on that outer edge, because when you're taking the outer edge and you're flicking it up and out, you're kind of blending at the same time. You want to blend all around the edges. See, this one is a little bit higher than this one, so now I have to go back and fix this one. I kind of thought that would happen. Sometimes I don't get them completely even on the first try, and that's totally okay. This is why you do it like very slowly and very patiently, and then go back and forth and make sure they're even. I'm going to blend everything. And see how this lifts the eye? And see, now one's darker than the other. So you want to go back and forth and just make sure that they're even in darkness, and the shape is even and the blend is even. You just want to make sure that they look the same. It's not always going to happen on the first try. Sometimes, like I did, I blended more over here than I did over here, so that I lost some of the intensity. So if you blend out your intensity, you can always go back and re-intensify. Just go back and forth. Be very patient. So the point of doing this is you want to bring some things back. The darker shades recedes, and then the lighter shades brings everything to the front. So that's why you want a contrast in your eyeshadow. You don't, I mean, you can just put one color eyeshadow on, but it's not going to look great. You want to have a high contrast in your eyeshadows, because there's a reason for it. So for the front part of the lid, I'm going to go in with that shade Sunset. And this is the lightest shade in the palette. And this is what I'm saying. You want like a high contrast. And this helps to make the eye look wider than it is. Or more open. So you can use a lighter shade up front, and then I'm just going to go back in between the two shades and I'm going to kind of blend it out a little bit. You want the contrast, but you still have to blend between the shades. Okay, so if this is good enough for some people, then that's fine. If you don't want to use a shimmer, that's totally fine. I always use shimmer, so I'm going to use a shimmer. If you don't have a shimmer, you can use your highlighter. If you want to just stop here, you can put some eyeliner on. You can do whatever, just curl your eyelashes and put mascara on. But if you want to use a shimmer, and I'm not going to use a shimmer out of the palette, I'm going to use my highlighter. So what I'm going to do is find a packing brush. Uh-oh, I almost dropped it. And I'm going to go into my highlighter. And I'm going to put this right in the front. And you want to take that highlighter, especially if you have hooded eyes, and you want to bring it all the way up so that people will be able to see it with your eyes open. If you want to use a shimmer, that's totally fine too. That's what I would prefer. You want to bring it all the way up, and you want your highlighter to kind of match your eyeshadow. So if you're using brown eyeshadow, which you probably are, then you want to get like a light kind of a gold shimmer or a highlighter. You just want to really accentuate this area right in the front, right here where I'm putting this. And then also you can, well, I'll get to that in a minute. For your bottom eye, see, when people have hooded eyes, they don't really think to like really decorate their under eye, but that's like a really cool thing that we can do, is decorate the under eye. So we can go in with our transition shade. For me it was Desert. Did I use this for highlighter? Wait a minute. Let me find another brush. I'm going to use my highlighting or my transition brush. So I'm going to go back into the transition shade Desert, and I'm just going to kind of squint my eye a little closed, and I'm just going to put that transition shade right underneath, and I'm going to kind of blend it out, because if people can't see your top lid, you can always decorate your bottom lid. You don't want to do it with something really dark though, because that will close the eye. That will make it seem more closed. So you want to do it with something medium to light. More medium, actually, not light, because that just looks weird. So you can put a little bit of eyeshadow there, and then you can take your highlighter, go back, oh shoot, go back into your highlighter, put this on the inner corner, and then also bring it down like maybe a third across your bottom lid, whatever that's called, bottom lash line. You can bring it down like a third so that people will be able to see this. Because especially if you're doing something for Thanksgiving or the holidays, you want something a little sparkly or shimmery. And if you don't, that's cool. You can just stop at the light shade. You can also pop a lighter shade in the corner and it'll open up the eye a little bit. So now you can stop here and put on lashes, or if you don't want to put on lashes, just curl your lashes and put mascara on and be done. But I am going to take an eyeliner, just a retractable pen, and I'm going to tight line, which means I'm putting it on the top waterline. Just because when I put my lashes on, I don't want anyone to see the skin under there. They also have lashes that don't have any glue, so if you're afraid of using the lashes with the glue and you're afraid that it's just going to slide all over your eyes, you can pick up some glueless lashes. And then if you want to practice with those before whatever the night is that you're using this look for, you can practice a little bit, and then you'll be a professional by the time you actually want to go out with this look. Okay, so I normally don't do my eyelashes on camera, but I will. I'm just going to go glue them up and wait for them to dry. Okay, so I think they're about ready. So what I do is I like to put on my eyelashes with my fingers. This can be a little tricky for some people, but the reason I do it this way is because I feel like it gets me closer to my lash line. So I just kind of drop it right there on my lash line, and I just let it sit for a second. And I'll go ahead and do the other one. My left hand is a little harder to do this with, but it still works out. So I'll just let it sit there, and then I'll just kind of push my lashes to where they need to be. You can use tweezers if that's easier for you. I used to use tweezers all the time, but then I saw somebody doing it this way, and I realized that you get way closer to the lash line if you do it this way. I'm not wearing any eyeliner today. If I was wearing eyeliner, I would use black glue, but I'm not, so I'm using just the regular white glue. And then once they're dried a little bit, you kind of want to take them and pinch them to your own eyelashes. If you have longer eyelashes. I don't, so I don't even bother with that, because my eyelashes are like so incredibly short that there's really no reason for me to do that. But if you have longer eyelashes, I do kind of take them underneath and push them up into my eyelash, into the fake eyelashes though. And you just want to push them onto your lid or onto your lash line and just make sure that they're good and snug on there. You don't have to use this thick or this unnatural of a lashes either. You can use completely natural ones. But this is what I'm comfortable with. Oh, okay, so my lips. I went in with the shade, the Colourpop Lippie pencil in the shade BFF. And then for lipstick, I'm using this. It's Handaiyan lipstick collection, and I don't know the color because it's not on here, but it's a very pale nude. And then if you have like really thin lips, I recommend overlining your lips, like just kind of drawing your lips bigger. But if you're not comfortable with that, after you put on your lipstick, I would recommend a lip plumping gloss, especially if you have those lines on your lips right here. I feel like this kind of helps to straighten those out, you know, to make them not so prominent. So I'm using LA Girl Glossy Lip Plumping Gloss in the shade Plush. Also, I feel, and I don't know if this is just me, but I feel that when you use lip gloss, it makes your lips look bigger. Especially if you put the gloss like right on your Cupid's bow, right here. Make sure you have a generous amount on your Cupid's bow. I just feel like that makes your lips look bigger for some reason. Alright, so I'm going to go do something with my hair and I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, that's it for me for today. I hope you got something out of this video. I hoped it helped some of you out there who are planning on doing like some holiday looks coming up. I hope that I was able to teach you something about something. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I sure do appreciate it, and I'll talk to you later.